Hi YouTube. I couldn't wait to share with you my three purchases from the MAC Osbourne Collection, which I picked up earlier this week in Selfridges, or rather someone picked up for me in Selfridges. The collection launched on the Selfridges website on Sunday night and sold out. Most of the items anyway sold out very, very quickly indeed, and I knew I wanted to actually look at them, I thought, before I purchased. So I toddled along. What am I saying? That I think they launched on the Friday or the Saturday. I toddled along to Selfridges in central London on Sunday afternoon, despite not feeling very well. I've had a bad respiratory tract infection this week, so forgive my croakiness. Only to find out that I couldn't look at or purchase any of the products on Sunday because Sharon and Kelly were coming in person the following day to launch the collection in the smaller concession on the third floor. And I couldn't get there on Monday because of other commitments, but they let me telephone in an order for myself and for a friend and picked up the items, and I'm pretty glad that I did, because once they launched on the MAC website here in the UK, again, everything just sold out before we even had access to the site. And I don't know how much is sold in Selfridges, but I'm guessing it's pretty popular. So, in the end, although it's quite a big collection, which many of you will have seen online, I only purchased for myself 3 items, although I did see a number of the other items that my friend ordered. I like the MAC mineralized skin finishes. They're one of my favourite MAC products. I have to say I have a love-hate relationship with MAC. There are certain of their products that I just don't get at all. You know, their mascaras, their liners, what else? Their skincare. Just don't do it for me, and I think they're quite pricey for really drugstore quality, if that. I'm not a huge fan of their blushes. There's nothing wrong with them. They're perfectly nice, and I've bought a few, particularly of the limited editions. They're often really pretty, but I don't think they are anything special, and they're quite expensive. Most of them now retail for about £24 in the UK, which is getting up there with Chanel prices, and for my money they're just not in the same league. So again, although there were 2 quite pretty blushes, in general, for the blushes, the eyeshadows, everything, Sharon's collection was warmer toned, Kelly's cooler toned, and most of the things were lighter in Kelly's than Sharon's. But as I say, I am a fan of the mineralised skin finishes. I think they tend to do those really well. So I often look at them in the limited edition, where I want the pretty packaging. I'm so weak from my cold, I can hardly open anything. It's sad, isn't it? So here we've got Kelly's one in the lilac packaging with her signature in red, which is quite pretty, although I think it looks slightly odd being off-centre, but maybe that's me, I don't know. That's the skin finish. It's a dual tone with a very pinky light highlighter, which just gives a very, very fine shimmer, and then a very, very pale, I could even use this as a finishing powder on most of my skin, and I'm quite pale, or if you really packed it on as a contour. So for my skin tone, this was the more suitable of the shades, and I'm really pleased with it. I haven't actually used it on my face yet. I've really not been well for a couple of last days, so I haven't been wearing makeup, but I'm looking forward to trying it tomorrow or this weekend. And then I took a punt on Sharon's mineralised skin finish as well, which, as you can see, much darker. Her packaging all red with lilac writing, her much neater handwriting. And I'd read on some of the American blogs that what was particularly pretty was this quadrant of highlighter. And it's a very much more peachy, glowy highlight than the one in Kelly's. and really quite distinctive but subtle. So I can see why it's really popular. I'm glad I got it. The contouring shade, you can see, very, very much more pigmented and warm toned, slightly orange on me. Definitely only to be used as a bronzer for me, and to be honest, I'm going to have to be quite light-handed with application. But I am still glad I got it for that highlighter, and I think I'm going to have a play about with lightly mixing with the contouring shade and see how that works out, particularly in the summer. So for me, those were the two standouts. I will say Sharon's collection contains the patent lip pencils. And if I hadn't bought a couple of those in the normal collection quite recently, and so I was kind of penciled out, I might have been tempted to get one of those because I really like the formulas and they're just very easy to work with. Kelly's lip colours were 4 lipsticks and in very bright colours, very vibrant. There was a Kelly Yum Yum, which tempted again. I missed out on the Candy Yum Yum, which is slightly warmer, but a very, very vibrant blue-toned pink. I decided against it because I'd bought that very bright pink lipstick from Chanel about 2 months ago, which I haven't worn a lot yet, so I'm kind of fuchsia pinked out at the moment. A very unusual lilac shade, which I couldn't quite see working on my skin tone, but very unusual and pretty. My friend got that, and I think it'd be very popular. The lipsticks seem to have just sold out straight away. There were also an eye palette for each collection. I wasn't tempted by Kelly's, just too cool toned for me, and I've read things about the textures not being too good in either. Sharon's was a much warmer palette, and again, it didn't stand out for me. But what I did get from Kelly's collection was this little duo palette, which is marketed as an eyebrow palette. It's got 2 of the standard colours from MAC in Sorba and I think this is called Brun. Neither of which I have, although I've got a lot of MAC neutrals in 10 palettes. My favourite eyebrow powder from MAC would be Omega. And I don't use powder an awful lot. I tend to use pencil because it's just more convenient. But I thought this was quite a convenient way of packaging, and I might be able to mix the two together and use a bit more. And even if not used on brows, these are both to matte. Well, that might be a slight luster Sorba, I'm not sure, but Brun's definitely matte. But very plain, neutral colours that can be used quite easily as an eye base. And this tiny little nice kind of magnetic-y type clip shut. Quite like that. So, yeah, I was pleased with that. As I say, very large collection. There were liners, lip pencils. What else in Sharon's? Can't remember. The blushes, as I say, which I passed on. So I know that this will be a very popular collection with a lot of people. It's not my standout collection. I think the Lorenco collection I talked about recently is far and away the best of their limited editions so far this year. But I am pleased with the products that I got. I do think the packaging is cute. And I hope those of you who managed to get orders in on time got what you wanted, and maybe we'll give some feedback about the other products. In the meantime, see you soon. Bye for now.